Scarlett Johansson is suing the Disney Corporation over the fact that they launched Black Widow on Disney Plus on the same weekend that they opened the movie in theaters. According to the Johansson legal team, there was an agreement in place that said that the movie must only be released in theaters first and then can later be released on Disney Plus because her contract apparently had a series of very large box office bonuses that were tied to attendance. And so they're arguing that by opening it in theaters and streaming it on Disney Plus, that potentially those benchmarks would not be able to be made because people would opt to watch on Disney Plus at home instead of watching it in the theaters. Disney has said that the case has no merit. They also cited the COVID 19 pandemic as a reason why the lawsuit is, quote, especially sad and distressing. Disney claims to have complied with the terms of the contract, and they also said that because it's on Disney Plus, that it enhances her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million that she received to date. Now, there's no word on how much of the $20 million was based on what she got for filming up front, or how much if it was received from the box office haul, or how much, if any, was received on Disney Plus. But there's some interesting things to talk about here when it comes to who is right in this case. I mean, obviously, we don't have the contract in front of us, so we can't go through with a fine tooth comb and try and see who's right and who's wrong. But one thing that's interesting is that if they knew, i.e., the Johansson legal team and agents, that there was a possibility that Disney might want to launch this on Disney Plus, that perhaps they should have negotiated that in the contract. But it seems like they did not. So maybe it's the fault of Scarlett Johansson's legal team or agents to negotiate a reasonable agreement that would have basically said, hey, I'm going to make money either way. If it goes on Disney Plus, I make good money. If it goes into theaters, I make good money. So there's that to take into consideration. But there's also to take into consideration the fact that if the agreement was specifically that they would not put it on Disney Plus, regardless of any extenuating circumstances, then why would the COVID 19 pandemic be a justification to break that if that is indeed a term that is in the contract? If they wanted to launch the movie on Disney Plus the same weekend, and if that would have been a breach of the contract initially, then perhaps they should have gone back to the table and said, hey, we want to do this, and let's renegotiate the deal so that we can do this and make it fair for you and fair for us. Now, Scarlett Johansson and her legal team claims that they approached Disney and said, hey, we want to talk this out. We want to make a deal. And apparently, according to the Johansson legal team, Disney did not respond to that. But Disney is instead trying to claim that, hey, she's going to make good money anyway, so why is she complaining? That kind of sounds like, me saying I'm going to pay you $100, but then later paying you only 80 and saying, well, aren't you happy with 80? 80 is a lot of money. You got 80. That seems kind of weird, and you wouldn't be happy with that. You would want the full 100. But what the Disney Corporation might be able to do is say Scarlett Johansson's legal team has to prove that the people who saw the movie on Disney Plus would have went to the theaters and seen it in person had it not been for the Disney Plus stream being available. And during the COVID 19 pandemic, it's highly possible that a large number, if not all of the people who opted to see it on Disney Plus, did so because they were concerned about catching COVID. So if the Disney Corporation can make that argument and basically require that the Johansson can't prove that a significant number of people who saw it on Disney Plus would have seen it in theaters, then this Johansson camp would have a hard time showing loss, and as such, the Disney camp may very well win, even if it is ruled that technically it was a breach of the contract. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so somebody who is a lawyer, like maybe the Legal Eagle channel, might be able to come in and correct me on that point. I more than welcome that. So, what do you think? Do you think that Scarlett Johansson is committing potential career suicide by suing the Disney Corporation? I mean, her character's dead in the movies. Don't know if there were any plans to bring her back at all, but perhaps there were other projects that she could have worked on that maybe she'll no longer be able to work on because she's bringing a lawsuit against Disney? Or is Disney in the wrong? Is Disney basically trying to use its power and might to get around contracts by basically saying, oh, there's a pandemic, so we don't have to follow what our contracts have to say? What do you think? Give your comments down below. Like and share the video if you liked it, and please remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and have a good day.